and win. What did you learn about this team?
I didn't learn anything.
I didn't learn anything either, Dan, but I went to art school. What's your excuse?
I didn't learn anything. I got verification on what I already knew.
Is Dan Campbell the most run through a brick wall for that guy coach in NFL history? I think so. Detroit went into Arrowhead Stadium, Gaya Field, and beat the Chiefs 21-20 to start the season. A game filled with fake punts, drop passes, Travis Kelce's cursed mustache, and ultimately a grit win for Detroit. Today I'm going to give you the big winners and losers from that game. For example, a loser. My sexuality. I was pretty certain, like 83% sure, I am a heterosexual man. But after seeing these two lion-maned, face-painted men, I want to fuck a cat man. I want to fuck a cat man. Ooh, today's episode is brought to you by goodchop.com/YouTube and my code That'sGood120. Now, I made a little surf and turf for this episode with my Good Chop. I asked Good Chop to rock with me this football season because I love the box of meat they send me. I ran out of their meat, and I had to go to the store for a big steak cookout I was hosting, and I was legitimately pissed at the quality of meat I had to choose from. I never want to get my meat from a grocery store again because Good Chop has spoiled me. All of their beef is either grass-fed or USDA choice or prime cuts. You select whichever you want. The chicken is free-range and organic. Someone say chicken breasts. Seafood is wild-caught and sustainably sourced. All that stuff's important to me, and none of the meat has the antibiotics or added hormones. And there's over 60 high-quality meats for your box to customize and choose from, and every piece of meat I have ever received is in perfect condition. And I am very picky with the meat I consume. Now, they offer a 100% money-back guarantee, but you won't need it. Just go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use my code That'sGood120 or click the link in the caption below to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes today. Good Chop! Winner? The safest player in the NFL. Chiefs punter Tommy Townsend trying to put on a helmet over his helmet. While 2 helmets would literally end concussions forever, I should remind you doubling up on condoms is actually not safer. Another winner? Us.
But they have Patrick Mahomes, and I think America's about to find out how good he really is.
You sure about that, Chris? Thank you for reminding us. This sport is indeed a team sport, and that one man, not even Mahomes, is above that. Losers, any man out there with the small testicles. After Dan Campbell flopped them out on the table and ran this fake punt from his own 17-yard line, I can no longer even think about calling myself a man. That play set the tone for Detroit, who used that momentum as a catalyst for the first touchdown of the NFL season. All kneecaps were bitten. All the one-ass cheeks and 3-toed defenders were obliterated, and Amon-Ra scored first. And Amon-Ra's a winner. He was going so hard in his I'm about to make passionate love to the air celebration. NBC cut away from him so fast I thought he was about to kneel during the anthem again. Winner, Chris Jones and his bank account. Chris Jones refusing to play for the Chiefs amidst a contract holdout, and he's still attending their games in the suites? That's some legendary stuff right there. He's like, I'm here, mother lickers, come pay me. I can see you, Andy Reid and Brett Beach, pay me. I've never seen a guy do that, and I love it. And not to mention, he sat next to 2 Italian stereotypes who not so subtly threatened to put the Chiefs helmet in a vice if they didn't pay up. Winner, Chiefsaholic, missing his first Chiefs game because he's in prison, was a good one to miss. You didn't miss anything, Chiefsaholic. No! Oh! If I had to pick one guy, though, from the NFL who could soon be his cellmate for the same crime, it's C.J. Gardner-Johnson. A winner? Marvin Jones, who had a horrible game. but nobody noticed after Kadarius Toney took all the heat off of him by having worse drops and worse turnovers. I honestly confused Marvin Jones for Chris Jones for a second. By the way, neither guy did anything to help their team. Jones picked a terrible time to have his first ever fumble of his career. Kadarius Toney may have deleted his Twitter, but Marvin Jones took it one step further and straight up just left for Mexico. I love Marvin, I really do. I'm happy he's back with the Lions, and I think he's gonna bounce back next week, but Detroit has a clear hole in the receiving game with Jamison Williams suspended. Somebody needs to step up, or if something happens to Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Lions will be fucked there. Jury is out, though, on miking up players' families during the game. Aiden Hutchinson's family was mic'd up in the crowd.
Yeah! Woo! Fake punt.
You know what? Actually, I want to mic up NFL players' ex-wives and girlfriends. Specifically, the girl who said Odell Beckham Jr. wanted her to poop on him. Remember that? I was going to call the NFL officials winners. I was going to be nice to them. I was. 0 flags in the first quarter. It was beautiful. The first penalty didn't come until the final minutes of the first half, but the entire internet just happened to notice a little thing. Just a tiny little thing was happening. Chiefs new right tackle Jawan Taylor was not lining up on the line of scrimmage, therefore was in illegal formation every play, and also was jumping early every play.
Take a look one more time at this. You can see a lot of movement.
That's not hyperbole. Every single passing play he was false starting. It became so egregious that NBC had to address it after the show producer must have checked Twitter. But what made it hilarious was how they broke it down on the broadcast.
To be on the line, his helmet has to break the waistline of the center. And to be honest, we've watched him the whole game. He's really not remotely close. And it's really putting the defensive end at a tremendous disadvantage.
But Mike Tirico, my favorite part is he had to explain which cheating he was referring to specifically.
Terry, let's just talk about how Taylor is lining up. Not the early movement, but where he's lining up to Chris's question before, is he legal or not?
The cherry, though, on this officiating shit Sunday was Collinsworth had the Dan Campbell-sized nuts to actually blame the Lions for not telling the officials what Jawan Taylor was getting away with.
But it's also part of the responsibility of the coaching staff of the Lions to go, hey,
point it out.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know, you can't give him that kind of advantage.
You know who should have told Taylor to adjust what he was doing? Actually, Kansas City, because he didn't get flagged until the absolute worst possible time. KC's final drive, turning a 4th and 20 into 4th and 25. That said, you can't blame the officials. They were just going by the chart. If you stray from the chart, you don't have a job. A winner for the Chiefs? MVS. Somehow making this catch with a minute left in the first half, which set up a Blake Bell touchdown. Losers? Nobody on the Chiefs thinking they should go back to MVS in the passing game. The one guy who showed he could make a tough catch. So a winner is actually former Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who called up Matt Nagy during the game and said,
"Don't worry on that one, dipshit."
Winner? The Detroit Lions rookies. This pass defended by Jack Campbell is as good a football play as you can make. Another rookie, Brian Branch, made his first career interception, turned it into a pick six against Patrick Mahomes. And I don't care if the ball bounced right off Kadarius Toney's hands. Branch broke on the ball perfectly. Tight end Sam Laporta, another rookie, had 5 grabs. And of course, running back Jahmyr Gibbs had 60 yards on just 9 touches. That's 4 rookies, all making big contributions in a key game. The Lions may have nailed their draft, and that could make them even more dangerous than we initially thought. Loser? Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell not doing a better job at getting Jahmyr Gibbs more touches. I'm not sure why you'd spend a first-round draft pick on a running back if the plan is to feature David Montgomery, who's good, don't get me wrong. But Gibbs is dynamic. He broke 6 tackles and averaged 6 yards per carry. I bet he gets way more looks week 2. Another loser, and it pains me to say this, but Ari Mirov. Now, I love Ari. I love him. He kills it on Twitter, but Chiefs fans should be upset because he cursed Patrick Mahomes before the game with this stat about his week 1 performances, touting how he'd never thrown an interception week 1. That is an after the game stat you post. once your guy continues the streak. I really think we need a conduct policy for before the game stats that are curse-free to post, and after the game stats with streaks that you never ever mention before the game. The NFL needs to learn a little bit from the MLB and take their jinxes and curses more seriously. It is crazy that it took Mahomes heading into his 6th season to discover what it feels like to try and play without any weapons. Mahomes played a lot better than his stat line, but it was refreshing to see him just look good and not otherworldly. Winners, Andy Reid and Brett Beach being smart enough to identify Jawan Taylor's ability to get away with cheating and signing him this offseason.
And then it's that early jump he gets, and the Chiefs knew that. They played against him in Jacksonville in the divisional playoff in this stadium last year.
That's real 4D chess shit right there. They let 2 key pieces from that line leave this offseason, all because they could get the world's best cheating tackle. Losers, Chiefs fans, being reminded O.J. Simpson is one of their biggest supporters.
Hey, X-World, it's me, yours truly, O.J. Mahomie.
Okay, O.J. Mahomie. What do the Chiefs' offensive line and O.J. Simpson have in common? They're both allowed to get away with murder. Clutch play of the game, The Last of Us. Pedro Josh Pascal blowing up the Chiefs sweep on 3rd and a half yard, forcing KC to punt with 5:07 left in the game. Now Pedro saw the clicker and he attacked. This play, in my opinion, was the biggest play for Detroit. This was also a case of Andy Reid outsmarting himself. All you need is a yard and you take the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. I can't tell if that's the Matt Nagy influence, but maybe PFT commenter was right. And Eric Bieniemy was the system. Losers, the fourth down. First, Dan Campbell runs a fake punt, no respect to 4th down. Then Detroit throws it on 4th and 2 with 3 minutes left in the game. Bigger whiff when you have that great line and you don't run on 4th and 2. Detroit gives KC the ball back with great field position. That's when the massive kadarius Toney drop happened. DeAndre Hopkins was somewhere smiling, then audibly laughing when Kansas City dropped another pass on that series. But we also witnessed a miracle. With the game on the line, Patrick Mahomes' offense actually went backwards, not forwards. The officials really waited all game before they flagged KC's line for holding, which they were doing a lot of.
I'm not a lineman, I don't claim to be a lineman, but how is that not a hold? Oh my God.
And for a false start. Finally, they're on Taylor, and then Andy Reid decided to go for it on 4th and 20 with 2:09 and 3 timeouts left. Can we have some goddamn respect for 4th down, please? Can we? I get it. He has Patrick Mahomes, which congratulations, Chiefs fans. You have probably the only player on earth any coach trusts on 4th and 20 in this situation. And again on 4th and 25. Like that false start you finally got flagged for was God telling you to punt, and you ignored God. Everyone wants to point out how lucky Detroit was to have this play right here turn into a pick 6. KC caught breaks too. The Jones fumble and the fact that the Lions dropped this pick on that final series gave you the chance to go for it on 4th and 20. Even Stevens. And the final winner, the Lions, who, yes indeed they did. Also, even in victory, they have more fuel for the fire now because Mike Tirico said after the win,
This has an asterisk because of no Chris Jones and no Travis Kelce.
That's bulletin board material, Dan Campbell. Put it up there now and go get another dub. Still want to fuck a cat, man. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here and come back Sunday because I will be live streaming the Broncos-Raiders game as we kick off all of the football games.